You're not overwhelmed by choices. You're addicted to avoiding responsibility for the ones that matter. Let me ask, when did you stop trusting your own voice? Most of my life, I was a professional advice seeker. Every decision got committee treatment: friends, family members, mentors, Google, the pros and cons list. Not because I didn't know what I wanted, but because I needed someone else to co sign my courage. That changed the day we decided to leave the US. I knew we were moving abroad, not hoped, not considered, knew. But the voices came flooding in. What about safety, crime rates, the unknowns? Have you seen those Netflix shows about innocent people caught trafficking drugs? You're throwing away everything stable. And for what? Pure fear dressed up as wisdom. My wife was scared too, legitimately processing what the sleep meant for our future. But she trusted my certainty, even when she couldn't feel it herself. Everyone else, they wanted me to drown my knowing in their anxiety. Here's the brutal truth: most advice isn't wisdom, it's simply other people's unprocessed fear that looks like helpful. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential, the podcast where your transformation begins. I'm Sean Michael, and each day I'll bring you quick, impactful insights and action steps to fuel your personal and professional growth. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or someone ready to break limits and ignite greatness, this is your daily power boost to crush obstacles, stay focused, and awaken the extraordinary potential within you. Because remember, greatness begins within. Let's go. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. Today, we're dismantling the lie that smart leaders gather consensus, because the smartest people in the room often outsource their clarity to people who never have the guts to take the leap themselves. Here's what living abroad has taught me about intuition. Law number one: fear-based input creates decision paralysis disguised as research. I could have spent years analyzing crime statistics and expat horror stories, not because I needed data, but because I was trying to logic my way out of everyone else's terror. Clarity doesn't come from consuming other people's anxiety. It comes from the courage to disappoint people who need you predictable. Law number two: your inner compass knows things your research never will. My gut didn't speak in spreadsheets about cost of living or visa requirement. It whispered about expansion, about who we could become, about the version of ourselves waiting on the other side of comfort. The whisper isn't mystical. It was memory plus presence, recognizing patterns my conscious mind kept filtering out. Law number three: consensus isn't collaboration. It's courage dilution. Supporting my wife through her legitimate fears, that was partnership. Absorbing everyone else's projections, that would be betrayal of our future and my own discernment. You can hold space for people you love without drowning your vision in their unhealed limitations. Every month abroad, I learned to trust that voice deeper, navigating situations where Google couldn't help, making decisions based on what felt right, not what felt safe to explain. Watching our life unfold in ways that proved most warnings wrong. 4 years later, when our son was born abroad, I realized something. We didn't just change countries. We changed into versions of ourselves brave enough to build a life from intuition instead of approval. So here's your truth check. Whose fears are you calling wisdom? Whose limitations do you call logic? Where are you waiting for permission when your gut already gave you direction? Because every time you override your inner knowing for external approval, you're training your nervous system to distrust your own leadership. This leak compounds. It seeps into your hiring, your relationships, your health. You don't lose just speed, you lose sovereignty. So here's our boost for today. Name the noise. Who are the voices you default to when your gut gets inconvenient? Separate fear from wisdom. Is their advice based on their experience or their anxiety? Trust the low whisper. What feels clean even when it scares everyone else? That's usually your answer. Moving abroad didn't just change our address. It propelled us into versions of ourselves that trust our own discernment, even when it terrifies people who love us. Your intuition isn't asking for permission, it's asking for partnership. This was decision fatigue, why leaders outsource their intuition. Next up, the identity come down, why you feel smaller after big moments. Because your biggest wins don't always elevate you. Sometimes they shrink you. And until you name that pattern, you'll keep sabotaging every peak. Stop performing clarity and start owning it. With strength and heart, I'm Sean Michael. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.